to 𝗥𝗵𝗲 show. Thank you for always tuning in and week out to listen, learn, and grow. Because that's what it's all about. That's what growth is all about. And as entrepreneurs, we're constant and we are growing. So thank you so much for tuning in, taking out your valuable time. And we truly appreciate that. So today I'm going to be leading the conversation. And today I want to talk about what I talked about, because I always like to have a refresher, because especially when it comes to talking about your mindset, talking about your old paradigms and how we have been conditioned. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be talking about today. But before, I want to welcome you all. And my name is 𝗥𝗵𝗲.
My name is Ria. And
welcome to our show. All right. So today, as I said, I'm going to talk about the trample your terror barrier. And this is your old conditioning, our old ways that we have been programmed to. Today we are not performing at the level that we know we should be performing. And so what I talked about were the 4 main points. The number 1, you start off with the bondage, which is you are limited in your beliefs, you are limited in your thinking, you are limited in your then taking the actions. And then so what I said was we need to be creative. And how do we go about, how do we stand out and really learn to reprogram ourselves? Well, this takes time, because when we have been conditioned in our old ways, our old paradigms, because I know I've experienced this, and your old ways, your old programming does not serve us today when we are really wanting to really create and have those experiences. Your old programming, your old paradigms does not serve you today. So we got the bondage, and then we have what's called the reasoning. The reasoning is, okay, what do you believe in? What do you believe? Do you think with the logic? Do you think with your mindset? Where's your mindset at? Do you think with your logical mind, or do you think with a mind that is confused? Because a mind that is confused and is blurred, that mind is not able to think with reasoning, is not able to act or think or feel with reasoning. So your reasoning, the reason why you do certain things, the reason why we are programmed to do certain things. But the only exception comes down to is, how do we reason? With a logical mind or with a mind that's confused? And then we have what's called the conflict. So your conflict mind is a mind that is confused. A confused mind does not buy. A confused mind you would not buy. If you are confused and you had to choose between a certain thing, if you're at a grocery store or at your workplace, if you had to choose, doing this task or that task or anything, I'm just giving you an example out there. If you're confused, if your mind is confused, now your mind is at a conflict. Yes, you're probably saying, okay, yes, I want to do this task, I really excel. Okay, that's what you're saying to yourself at work. And then very shortly afterwards, your mind, then you backtrack, right? So now you're going forward. You're saying, okay, you know what? I'm really going to do this. I'm really going to excel my day. I'm really going to, go full on. And then your mind backtracks. And you're saying to yourself, no, wait a minute. No, I don't think I should be doing this. No, I don't. Maybe I leave it for someone else. Maybe So it's all these negativities that comes into our mind, maybe, should be, could we, would be. But then if your mind is at a conflict, your mind is at a crossroad. Okay, this is what the trample. So you're trampling over the pebbles, the stepping stones, your eggshells. You tread very quietly. Oh, what if someone says, or what if someone sees, or I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be doing that. This is a conflict. This is a conflict that most of us have every day. And so the conflict is the bigger part of this, trample the 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝘀, because the moment you want to go forward, there's a barrier. You can't penetrate through that because it's not allowing you to. Why is not allowing you to? Because of your mind's in a conflict. And when your mind is at a conflict, your mind is not at ease. Your mind is not, you can't decipher, okay, what does it really want? What do you really want? What are you going to do and take those actionable steps to get out of the conflict? Then the fourth step, so the conflict was the third step. The fourth step is the freedom. Now, this is the exciting part, the freedom. Because when you have overcome all these blocks from the bondage, from the reasoning, from the conflict, when you have overcome, you have retrained, rewired, reprogrammed your mind to now really being at the place that you are meant to be, that successful mind, at that successful place at your work, in your business, in life. Okay, so the freedom is now, you've earned this because you've worked hard. You worked to overcome all these last three obstacles. And the conflict, for me, conflict was the biggest. When I began to study this, for me, the conflict, was a huge part. I had to overcome. I had to know, okay, first of all, what is happening actually internally. I had to do that work, and I had to do. And so when we don't do the internal work, first of all, there's no point. The external, there's no point. Because most of us, we think from the external, oh, if I get this, oh, I'll be good. Well, maybe, but only short term. But if the internal work, you have to do it. I have to do it. I had to do it. And I still do it. So the freedom, that is the fourth and final point, the freedom that you have now, your mind is really operating at the pace that you want it. And you are now discovering your true potential. Because you know what, let's put it this way. Each and every one of us, we have potentials. We have reservoirs of potential. But then do we notice our potential? Do we notice our potential, our talents, our gifts, our abilities, our capabilities? Do we acknowledge? And this is why I want to challenge you, and I will, give an assignment. I want to challenge you to acknowledge. Okay, I want you to acknowledge what do you believe in yourself? Do you have the potential? Are you capable? Are you able? Because remember those I talked about a long time ago, willing and able, that Bob Proctor says, you are willing and able. Those two operative words, willing and able to do anything. So when you hear those words, willing and able, what does that tell you to do? Are you going to go and do it? Do you jump? Do you get excited? Because I know I do. If someone says to me, oh, Alka, you should be doing this. And yeah, okay, yeah, I'm willing to do it. Tell me where, tell me how, show me. Don't tell me, show me. So the freedom, guys, This is the fourth trample, the terror barrier. Because if you have overcome, as I said, overcome these obstacles, the last three that I mentioned, if you overcome this, the freedom then to now achieving, the freedom now to being and doing and having is what's there. But you have to acknowledge that as well. Having one thing, having anything is one thing. But then to know, okay, how do you backtrack? How do you back that up? Sorry. How do you back that up? To say, yeah, okay, I have earned this. I have done this. I've done the work. And now I'm at a place, of freedom where I can really escalate my life. And now I truly understand my mind and how my mind is working and helping and guiding. Because, there's actually no, we tend to complicate our lives. We complicate things. And this is actually the formula. This is actually the secret formula to achieving what you want, is overcoming the trample. It's trampling over that terror barrier, that barrier that is put into place, that always comes in. The moment you want to move forward to achieving success in any endeavor, in any life, at work, okay, the moment you want to achieve that success, there's always going to be that barrier that's going to stop you. It's just human. It's just human, it's just the way humans that we just operate. And your paradigm obviously operates for you. It's not how we operate, it's your paradigm operates for us. Your paradigm is telling you, oh, no, wait a minute. No, you cannot do that. I won't allow you to do that. And you know what? We listen. Every one of us, we listen to the latter part of our mind. And when we listen to, oh, no, oh, maybe, yeah, I can do this. And you know what? We then tend to second guess. And then we wallow, we sit in that place for a long time. And then, we give up defeat. We give up on our goals. We give up on our human potential. Because that part of your mind, your paradigm, remember I also said that your mind is a very complex and powerful tool. And your paradigm, if you let your paradigm control you, you've lost, you've defeated.
Now, Alka, you brought a good point, right? If you allow your mind to think negative things, unable for you to trample the terror barrier, then you lost. The mindset is the key. Now, what do you think is the easiest way for our listeners to help them get through and, trample the terror barrier? Is it better if they do have a buddy system? Is it better if they do it alone? Some people want to do it alone. Is it better for them to be in a group to get through and trample the terror barrier? How do we make it easier for our listeners, for our viewers to trample the terror barrier?
Well, as I mentioned, when I did this, back in my old paradigm, that was when I had to do the work. You have to be the one to do that inner work. You got to do the inner work first before your external starts to show up. So if you have a buddy, I will not recommend, because your buddy may be at the same place as you are. And if you are both lost, it's like the blind leading the blind. You both don't know where to navigate, or better still, how to navigate. So it's best that we do, as individuals, do that work first, so that when we do the internal work, we know what we need to work on, okay? Because when you have a buddy system or a group of any kind, who's to say that people in that group or etc. are better off? Do they know how their mindset works? Do they know that if the paradigm creeps in, do they know? Would they give up? So I will say no. I will say work on yourself first. Okay, really be good with you, really understand you, really understand, to start to understand, okay, what creeps up for you? When I say creep up, I mean, the fear. Does the fear creep up the moment you want to strive for that success? Okay, so you need to understand, you need to know, okay, when these are the barriers that are coming in my way, what am I doing? How am I thinking? How am I operating? And then when you can start to see how do you operate, then you won't have a conflict, because your conflict only comes about when you're not clear. You don't have a really understanding of who you are right now. And I didn't. For a long time, I didn't really understand who I was, until I did the work. I did the internal work first, because we always have to do the internal and forget about the external right now. For you right now is doing the internal and making sure that we, confidence. I mean, I'm not saying, okay, I'm not here preaching and saying, okay, and then, any part of your day, there won't be conflicts that will arise. Of course they will. But if you are truly at a level that you can truly understand how your mind works, okay, then when the paradigms do come in and the barriers do come in your way, then you can deal with it much better. You don't go into that negativity that most of us can go into.
So it sounds like in order for us to change our output, internal work, our input needs to change.
You have to do it. Absolutely. You're going to do that. You're going to do that internal work, because that's your guide. That's your compass, your internal. And you got to work that out. You got to know. Then, because it's how you work the compass, how you program it. When your internal compass is good, then your program, and then when you program it, you are going to feel so much better, because now you've understood, you've gone through all the steps that you need, as I said, from the bondage, from the reasoning, from the conflict. Then it becomes so much easier. Yes, absolutely. So, like, in a nutshell, you have to be the one to do it. And then after that, once you've taken the time to really get to know you, how your mind works, how the barriers in your way, when they do come, your paradigms, do you go into the negativity? Does the fear come in? Know you. See what comes up for you. Okay, so this is what I will leave with you is, this challenge is, what do you feel when you strive for that success, when you know the goal that you want, even at work? What happens? See yourself. What happens? Does the fear come in? Oh no, maybe I can't do this. Oh wow, it's so difficult. Does overwhelm come in? So this is my challenge to you, is to really get to know you, the deeper part of you, that what comes out, because I'm sure something will come up. And then it's, how do you deal with it? Do you go into the negativity, or are you chilled? Are you calm? Okay, guys, so Ria, so that's what I will say, is you need to be the one to do the work.
first.
Challenge is to know, okay, what happens when you want to do something? What happens to you in that moment? All right. So, well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for always being here with us week in and week out. We truly appreciate you. We value you. And, make the rest of your day the best of your day. And we will talk to you soon. Okay.